Exercise 9 assignment is an easy one. The objective for this assignment is to apply the scientific terminology that you saw in lab to observations of microbial growth. For this you have a table. You're going to find 5 illustrations in your textbook that show microbes growing on solid media. You want to indicate the page number and describe the colonies using the terms from this lab exercise. If you're not using the current edition of the textbook sold by the bookstore, please tell me what edition that you are using so I can make sure that I find these pages and figures correctly so that I can grade this. Let's take a look at some examples. Here you see the first image. Okay? This image has orange colonies growing on a solid medium, and when I look at this, I can pretty easily see that the configuration is wrinkled, the margin is undulate, you can see it's sort of wavy, and the elevation is crateriform. It looks like a crater. Very beautiful looking colony. There's only one colony in this image, so that's all that I'm describing. But many images that you find in your textbook may have several colonies on there. A very good example is figure 3.26 that you can see below. On this one you see several different colonies. When confronted with multiple colonies in an image, first establish which colony you are describing. So there are several colonies here, and you could use this for 3 or 4 different descriptions. You could have multiple descriptions from here, and you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, if you like that analogy. For example, you can use color and or location. You could say the red colony, for example, has a smooth margin. You could describe the yellow colony, or you could use the face of the clock and say the colony at 12 o'clock in this image, the colony at 3 o'clock, or the colony directly in the center, but establish which colony you are describing. Something that's important to note here is that the elevation in this image is much more difficult to establish. You may want to try to guess what the elevation is, or you may indicate that the elevation is impossible to determine in this image. After you've completed the table, there are a few questions to think about. The first one, in what ways were the illustrations lacking when it came to describing the colonies? For example, what difficulties did you have when describing the colonies in these images? Pictures are often worth 1,000 words, so in some ways illustrations are superior to personally looking at colonies in the laboratory. Think about when it might be preferable to have a photographic image. Think about advantages of photographic images as opposed to having a culture in front of you or looking at something alive in the laboratory. Good luck on the assignment, and if you have any questions, please ask.